If we had one tea that was sort of the embodiment of our core line of tea philosophy, terroir, a great narrative, something special in the cup, something special time after time, a consistency. If we had a tea like that, it would definitely be our Zhang Lang village, Bada Mountain harvest. Season after season, it's been a place that I could comfortably return to, confident that the production was clean, consistent, and the teas over the years have been sort of an education for me personally. They were the first tea region, they were the first teas from an area, a village in particular, that I started collecting, although the idea wasn't to collect them and keep them, the idea was to collect them and sip them all. The village itself was introduced to me by someone who became very instrumental in my own tea education, Zhang Lang. And when I had asked her, what is it that locals enjoy sipping and why? With no hesitation, she said, well, let's go. Let's go to the village. You should know it. You should taste what we prefer, what I prefer. And so we went to Zhang Lang village, and she referenced two notions, two sort of ideas, two flavor profile notions that we don't speak of so much. I hope that we do speak more of in the future, but it was not anything one could find on a flavor wheel. It wasn't anything complex in language. It was two concepts. The first was that the tea, regardless of the newness of the harvest, the freshness of the production or of the cultivation, regardless of this notion, it had to have a vegetal direct line. It had to have something almost astringent, but not quite. It had to feel like something was freshly harvested and reflective of the hands and the terroir. It wasn't something that age could manipulate. It wasn't something that wet or dry storage could manipulate. It was something that a fresh harvest brought in the huigan, that first initial hit in the mouth and the underlying sweetness as it dissipated. That was one element. The second element was something not found so much in raw, fresh, zingy, vibrant, and sometimes explosive new harvests, and that is the rounded notes. The rounded notes, most of the time that comes with a few years of age, but in this case, Zhang Lang at least was referencing these nougaty, creamy, soft, rounded notes, even in a fresh young harvest. And of course, all of these elements are subjective, and the point of her narrative and introduction to Zhang Lang wasn't to convince me of these elements so much as it was to introduce a tea that locals enjoyed as their daily drinker or their daily sipper. And so it became a tea of the dozens of teas I tried in my initial visits that stuck with my own palate. It has long been also something that Jalam teas has sort of consistently depended on over time. And one of the beautiful elements over time that we've gotten feedback over is that others, not necessarily ourselves, but others who've consumed the tea over the years have sought out our own offerings over the years, collectors who have aged their Bada teas, their Zhang Lang teas. And they've often written to us with requests that we bring back as many iterations of Zhang Lang and Bada Mountain as we could. This present 2021 offering has already had a few months to settle. It is one of those teas that brings a vegetal note, something strong into the cup. But paying tribute to Xiaomei's introduction those years ago, it is a tea that's got round notes already. It's a superb tea for the ages, for the aging, and as Xiaomei referred all those years back to it as, I think I'll pay tribute to that, to her line, it is one of the eternal offerings. It should be on any menu We've often spoken about this, that if we could only offer one tea on our tea menu, it would be Zhang Lang. So the eternal offering, Zhang Lang Village.